Hello everyone and welcome to Amberlea Model Railway. My name's Chris. For this video I've decided to take a slightly different approach to what I've been doing in the past, and I'm going to spend some time talking about what I'm going to be doing on my layout in the future. It seems to me that there's a lot of model railway YouTubers out there who spend more time talking about what they're doing or going to be doing with their model railway. Some of them put out 2 or 3 videos a week, and there's not usually much substance to the actual modelling other than talking about plans and what have you. So it seems to me that that you people out there in YouTube land quite like that approach, so I'm going to give it a try. So in this video I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be doing on my layout in the future, whether that be short term or long term, and hopefully prompt some maybe some comments and some thoughts and ideas from you all out there to help me along the way.
So here's the layout as a whole. And if we look at logically starting in this area here and then working our way clockwise round the layout, this is the first piece we come to. It's sort of a little spur really, just on the end there. I don't know if it was me being too lazy to chop the extra little bit of length off the board, or whether I had at one time had a plan to use this with some track or whatever. Anyway, where we are now is a town scene, a built-up area. You can see that as a continuation of Bridge Street, I've mapped out the road continuing pretty much in a straight line, which will disappear off the back there, off a scenic break backboard, where those low relief house fronts are there, and the shop fronts. They'll stay as they are for that street at the end there, and then the buildings at the side will stay in position there, and then these houses here, the actual full house front and back, they'll be there with another one just behind this building here, which actually won't be there. And then if I reconfigure, I can show you how the rest is going to work out. So if you just bear with me for a few seconds, I'll reconfigure the buildings and we'll continue. So we've just shuffled those around a little bit there, and you can see on the end here, again, low relief terraced house backs with the full house backing onto it, like so, and then the second street being there with house fronts. Again, there'll be another terraced house full there, and another terraced house full there. And then if I rearrange for a third time, you'll be able to see how that last piece will look. So back to back for a third time, and then there'll be another alleyway between the backs of the houses, as there would be here as well. I forgot to mention that, but there will be that one there. And actually at the far side here, between those house backs, there will be an alleyway, 10 foot as we call it here in Yorkshire, and then the house front onto the street, as it should be. So that's all pretty well planned out, I think. I'm going to have, I think, shops along Bridge Street on the far side of the road where those stone buildings are now. I think there'll be a row of shops all the way down. Some Oxford die-cast models there, a bus and a fire engine that you can see in the background there, and hearse on its way somewhere. The only thing left to say really is that along this edge here, the edge closest to the camera now, along on the left hand side, I think I'm going to use these low relief house fronts along here to give the sense that the street is a dead end street with houses at the bottom end. I'll have a look at that more closely and see if it looks realistic, if it looks okay. But that's the thought that's in my head at the moment. Anyway, so I'll jig myself around a little bit, get into a different position so that I can show you the next part of the layout. So this is the next area. There's the street scene there. There will be a scenic break, as you can see the board, and bringing us into this area here. Another scenic break there with where the embankment is, and the double bridge with the track going over the top. This part with some nice track work, which I'm very pleased with, brings the inside line onto the outside line and vice versa. So my thoughts with this area is to have it covered, build it to a height of about 12 centimeters from the top of the polystyrene, and then cover it, have a nice flat surface there to do some other scenic work with. I had thought possibly of modelling something like a golf course, or part of a golf course at least, possibly a campsite with some caravans, with maybe some mobile homes, motorhomes, something like that, or some other open area of land, possibly a farm. If you've got any ideas on what you think might fit well up there, then please stick your comments, ideas down in the section below. I will certainly enjoy reading them, as I always do. I'm not guaranteeing that I will take any notice or carry out any of your comments, but I certainly will enjoy reading them and having that food for thought. So the next section we come to is the this corner, the left-hand corner section with the railway line going over the top of the double running lines there. I think that from a scenic point of view, I think that looks okay. Quite happy with that, and running into then the back straight, as you can see. That's over 3 meters long, that back straight, and at the moment, my original idea was that I would have the double lines behind hidden from view, so they basically disappear in this area here, and you don't see them again until they come out of the tunnel mouths over there, which we'll have a look at in a second. Why I thought that was a good idea in the first place, I'm not really 100% sure of now, because that's actually, if it came out of some sort of scenic break there, that's actually a really good run for some scenery, and to use for running shots, for videos, and for photography. So I'm having a serious rethink now about putting the elevated section line, which I still want to keep because I do like it. Thinking about moving that backwards, so that's the closest to the wall. Unfortunately, the wall slopes, so it's a little bit tight. But we put the elevated section furthest away, and then we bring those double lines there forward. Whether they'll run alongside the existing tracks or whether they'll be slightly separated, that could be a possibility. but that's the way I'm thinking now. It seems like such a waste of space to have all that lovely running line not using it. So I think I'm going to change that. Let me know what you think down below. And if anybody's got any other suggestions, that would also be useful. So so that's what I'm thinking, and especially if I can, like I've seen on other people's layouts, if you can put a slight kink in the direction of the track, so it's not just one straight line, but you've got maybe a slight change in direction. That looks really impressive when you see a train snaking around that particular feature, and it looks really good on film or on a photograph. So that's what I'm thinking about. So let's move on now to my next bugbear, which is this bridge here. So this bridge, which is in pretty much the centre of the long back straight, I'm actually very pleased with the bridge itself, which I made scratch built, which is fine, but I really dislike the underside. What happened underneath, really, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, and so I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut down into the polystyrene, cut it all out at right angles to these abutments here, and then rather than carve the bank out of the polystyrene, I will make a bank out of papier-mâché and plaster bandage. The river itself doesn't look too bad. It's yacht varnish on some grey board which had been painted. You know, it's not too bad. You can't really see it except when you're down at this angle, which isn't very often. And so, yeah, I'm going to get that revamped. And obviously, when I bring that other line forward, if that's what I decide to do, then there'll be another bridge, as well as the viaduct in the background with the single line, the elevated section on there, which will be there in some guise or another. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this area here. Again, give me any thoughts you might have down below. And so we come to the right-hand rear corner of the layout. And those of you that have been watching for a while will remember the videos that I made on creating this hillside here, this scenic bit here with the trees and everything on there. I'm still very pleased with that, and the bit alongside it there. So there's not much to say on this area here, really. It will remain like that. Whether the track work underneath it changes or not remains to be seen, but it will still do what it does at the moment. So I've just moved angles slightly just to give you a better view of the tunnel portals coming out of that scenic hillside there. Still pleased with how this looks. It still needs a little bit of more work on the left hand side there. Needs some more scenery and trees and bushes and what have you. We've got the single line, the branch line, effectively coming down at the back there on its slope down from that level to ground level, and then the lines swing round into the station, which I'll cover in a little minute. New area of scenery, which we'll talk about a little bit more on a separate part of the video. So the next piece I want to talk about is what's going to happen in this space here. I did allude to it on an earlier video a couple of months ago, that I was thinking about extending down into that corner and having a line down and a line back. Well, that's still my intent. I have now got the board or boards, should I say. I'm just waiting on a trip to B&Q to get some timber for the legs, which I'm going to need, and then once I've got that, I shall put it in place and get some track down. I have a track plan. What I'm going to do is a single line down, continuing the slope down, getting rid of this horrible curve here, taking the single line down the back wall there into the corner where there will be a two platform terminal station, and then the loop, or the track, will continue round in a loop, hopefully not too tight, allowing it to get round and then come back up this side of the board, and then joining in here with that existing track, and then that will take it back round onto the layout, and I'll cover that next section in a minute. So my thoughts for this area here is there will be a road, probably about here, going over our railway line, because I don't have that feature anywhere else on the layout. Then our track will go over a double line railway next to a canal. So I'll cut that down into the polystyrene, and I will lay track and do the scenery so that our line can go over the railway and the canal, and then over it again when it comes back in the opposite direction. And I think that will look, that from a scenic point of view, that will look quite good. The bottom area there, I plan to have, because it'll have a station, I'll have a small built up area there, maybe a bit of industry, TBC. But again, if you have any thoughts, shout them out, and we'll see what we can do. So the last part of the layout is the busiest by far. It starts in this area here, as the inner tracks come round the corner into the station, where the track then diverges, splits into four, and through the station with its waiting room, platforms and footbridge. 4 lines, all currently occupied. Station concourse, the stairways, all looks pretty much in order at the moment. A couple of bits of scenic work still to do. You'll notice just along this wall here there's no greenery, so I need to continue that green work along that wall there near the car park, just to finish that off. A little bit more scenic work just with some scatter and some bushes and some greenery. Coming into the foreground, the outer lines actually miss the station. They go around the outside, they don't affect the station, so that's a bit of a bypass for freight, effectively. I didn't design it that way, but that's the way it's turned out. And as you will no doubt be able to see, there's some ballasting work still needs to be done along there. Coming into the sidings, which come off the branch line. First of all, there's a bit that goes up the slope onto the elevated section alongside Bridge Street, and away it goes onto the elevated section around the back. And then you've got 2 sidings which disappear down the side of the sloping wall there. One currently unoccupied, the second one's got the blue circle cement hoppers parked there at the moment. Then the next two lines, the lines which join up to the outer loop in this area here. You just can't quite see it, but it's under there near where that Freightliner container is. So that configuration means that any train can get from anywhere in on the layout to anywhere else on the layout at the moment. So any train running around the inner circuit can come onto the outer circuit. Once it's on the outer circuit, it can run onto via these lines here onto the scenic area, which will go, as I said before, down into that corner. So that's pretty much where we are. Got some street furniture on Bridge Street now and some vehicles courtesy of Oxford Diecast. That's all looking quite good. Still some edgings. The facade needs to go the whole way around the layout. I have bought some board for that. Need some black paint, so I can actually paint it a nice neutral colour. And I think the only bit really to just show you now is the yard, which I will move on to very shortly. So the yard is accessible from Bridge Street under the bridge, and then has so far got a small building, some pallets, a coal office and some drops, and then Higgins and Son timber merchants with all their paraphernalia. If I just get out of the light, you can see inside there is various bits and pieces that I've put together. A couple of chaps doing their work, a lorry with some timber ready to go, and you can just see a low relief factory front. Whether that's going to stay there or not, I don't know yet, but a little bit more work needed on the yard just to finish it off, but I think it's looking okay for the time being. And that's pretty much a tour of the layout with the ideas that I have for what I'm going to be doing. So I think we have just about got this scene finished off now. As you can see, there is some water in the drainage channel, courtesy of some dried PVA, which actually took about 3 or 4 days to dry completely, and there was only about a quarter of an inch in there, so that gives you an idea. If you're doing that sort of thing yourself, gives you an idea of how long you've got to wait. Put the foliage and the scatter down around the bridge, and put the wing in there, and blended it into the embankment with some bushes. Put a Pico fence along the back there. I think you can just about make it out. Then that just detailed just finishes it off nicely, and then some more bushes and scatter and trees, and I'm pretty happy with how that has turned out now. I managed to line the banks of the drainage channel with some growth, which again I think looks quite effective, and put the other side of the drainage channel brickwork in there, and again blended it in with some scatter and some clump foliage to just to finish it off. There might just be a little bit needed along the front of the wall there, track side, just to again to blend that in. But there we have it. Taken quite a while. taken a good couple of weeks or so. I don't know if you can notice at the back there, there's some grey board with blue paint, sky blue paint on there, just to try and hide the gap at the back there. Still trying to find a method of fixing it in place, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. If you have any ideas, again, please stick them down below, and you might save me a lot of brain ache and a lot of work. So as you can probably tell, I have been busy over the last 2 weeks. The last 2 Metcalf-tastic weeks. Having built this engine shed, which I do think is rather nice, and the other buildings that are around. In fact, I'll be able to tell you exactly, because I've got the empty boxes here. I built a stone engine shed, I built pub and shops, I built low relief terraced house fronts, I built low relief terraced house backs, and I built red brick terraced houses as well. Still plenty to go, but I do enjoy making these Metcalf kits. I think they are really good fun. The end product is, I think, worth it. I know there'll be a few of you out there that aren't keen, but I think for what they are, they do a job, and they'll continue to populate my layout, certainly. So I think that all that remains now of me to say is thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this more talky version of my videos. I hope that's what I'm giving you what you want and what you like. If that's the case, again, please tell me in the comments down below whether you like this new format of me doing more talking and less showing. Seems to work for other people, so I thought I'd give it a try, and we'll see where we are. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.